With the launch of the Kickr Core Zwift 1, Zwift says you can turn any bike into a fully functioning virtual shifting indoor powerhouse. In this vid, we're going to take that claim to its logical conclusion. Can any bike be your Zwift bike? Let's find out. There are loads of reasons to move your riding indoors in the winter. Maybe you just don't like the wet and the cold, or maybe like me, you've done more eating than riding over the summer and it's time to knuckle down and shift some timber. Maybe it's a part of a structured year for you with your winter plan laid out and goals set for next summer. If you want to enjoy the full immersive experience of Zwift, then until last winter you basically had two options: fork out some serious wedge for a dedicated smart bike, or get yourself a smart trainer and use your outdoor bike on that. Now there's a third option, the Zwift Cog. Essentially, it turns your bike into a single speed and the shifting is all handled virtually in game. You get a click controller, which you stick on your bars to change gear. Now with virtual shifting, it's much less important what the bike is and how well the gears work. So in theory, you could put any old beater on your turbo and get basically the same experience and save your good bike from your corrosive sweat. That's the theory, but is it a good theory? To test it, we've lined up 4 frames to offer up to our test bed trainer, a Wahoo Kickr Core Zwift 1. Let's look at them in a kind of most to least appropriate kind of an order. First up is this, the Zwift Ride frame, which is specifically designed with the trainer that we have on Zwift, and it has all the controls you need for the game built into the bars, and it's adjustable to suit nearly any rider. I'm reasonably confident this will work pretty well, to be honest, and I will be disappointed if it doesn't. This is my old outdoor race bike, a Merida Sculptura 4000. It's still a very decent bike, but you know, it's done some miles now, and some of the bits aren't working quite as well as they once did. In particular, the right-hand shifter, which is a bit of a pain outdoors. Shouldn't be an issue here though. Thirdly, this, a Peugeot Competition 300, a bike from a time before STI shifters and disc brakes, and it would seem decent bar tape, but still recognisably a road bike though, and if Zwift's claims about the Zwift Cog hold true, then none of that stuff should make much of a difference to the experience. And lastly this, a Dahon folder from last century that's been pretty badly treated by the looks of things, and the tyres could use some air. I mean, I don't know if I'll even get it on the trainer, but if you've seen Andrew Feather ride this in a previous video, link coming up for that, you'll know that it isn't all that bad. But will it Zwift? There's only one way to find out. Now I can ride all these bikes and I can see how they feel on the trainer, and some will probably be better than others, but it's also good to have some numbers. Does it matter what you're riding? How much more efficient is a bougie setup like the Zwift Ride than some old skip find? Luckily, I've got these to play with, a set of Favero Asioma Pro MX pedals. This is a dual-sided power meter built into a double-sided SPD compatible pedal. Since I stopped racing outdoors, I use SPDs for all my riding, so these pedals are perfect for the job. They're a clever design too, with all the electronics and a rechargeable battery sealed inside the spindle. That means they'll shrug off the worst outdoor conditions, and you can replace the pedal body if it wears out or gets damaged. The power electronics inside include a 3-axis gyro to take into account pedaling variations, and Favero says they're accurate to plus or minus 1%. And they're really light at less than 200 grams and super easy to swap between bikes. I'm going to ride a standard workout with all 4 setups, record the power from the trainer and the pedals independently, see what the data says, or what the data say if you're a pedant. Let's get started. So, welcome to the Pain Cave. If you go on Zwift, you'll think that everyone Zwift's in their Scandinavian looking front room, but I'm in the shed with the wood primer and the golf shoes and the filler. So, what's your Pain Cave like? Let us know in the comments below. I'm going to get this Zwift bike on the trainer, and we're going to go and make some numbers. Putting the Zwift Ride frame on the Wahoo Kickr Core Zwift 1 couldn't be easier really. Just offer the bike up to the trainer, put the through axle through and pull the chain around the Zwift Cog. Once that's all done, it's just a case of fitting the power pedals to the bike and we're ready to do our first workout of the day. So the ride impressions of the Zwift Ride frame, well, it's really nice and adjustable. Actually, I tend to have my handlebars a bit higher indoors, so it's good to have that option here. So yeah, everything's really functional. It's a nice bit of kit and it works really well with the trainer. The Merida has a quick release rear wheel, so we have to swap out the adapters at the back to get it on, but once that's done, it's a pretty straightforward process. I'm putting the Zwift click on the bars, so I'll have access to the virtual shifting in-game. So we're all set up with the Merida. Obviously this is still a really good quality bike and it's one I'm used to, it fits me well. It's a little bit more aggressive than the Zwift Ride, but I'm still comfortable, so I'm going to crack into my 5-minute effort. Is it less efficient than the Zwift Ride? Is it the same? We'll find out. Because this is an older bike, the rear axle standard is 130mm, but the Kickr core can cope with that, you just have to swap a few bits around. Then the process is very much like the Merida. Get the chain lined up, get the bike on there. I've also added a chock under the front wheel this time, because it's a little bit aggressive for my liking. So here we are, this is a bike that's probably the best part of 40 years old, and it's simple to get on the Kickr core. I've got virtual shifting in game, which feels exactly like the shifting I had before. I mean, if I found this in a skip, I'd be able to get it onto Zwift. No problem at all. Unsurprisingly, the Dahon was the hardest to get on the Kickr Core Zwift 1, but with the same 130mm axle spacing as the Peugeot, it didn't take that long to get it offered up and tightened in. This time I needed 2 bits of 2x4 under the wheel, just because the wheels are a lot smaller, and if I'm honest, the seat post is up a bit high to be safe. But we've got the Zwift click on, we've oiled the chain and we're ready to go. Okay, as you can see, probably not the most ergonomic setup I've ever used, but we're here, we're on Zwift, we're riding around. I've got virtual shifting. The bike is quiet, it feels efficient. I'm going to go through the same workout as the other 3 and see how the numbers compare. So we've crunched all the numbers, and what have we learnt from all of this? Well, what we've learnt is that you really can Zwift on anything. With a Kickr Core Zwift 1 and a Zwift Cog, pretty much any bike will have the same kind of shifting feel. Obviously there are ergonomic concerns if you're putting a folder on your indoor trainer, but most bikes work fine. We've looked at the numbers, and in terms of the losses from the drivetrains, the Zwift bike and the Merida and the Peugeot are all about the same. They're within 1 watt of each other. The Dahon about 10 watts more, but probably all of that's just down to the fact that the chain's a bit more worn, there's a bit more gunk in it. So it's not really down to the type of bike as such, more just the state of the bike really. And would I choose to Zwift on a Dahon folder? No, I absolutely would not. But if you don't want to get sweat over your good bike and you've got a really old bike that fits you well, then the ride experience on the Zwift Cog is pretty much the same whatever you're riding. If you don't have another bike that fits you well, or you want to use a different position when you're riding indoors, or you want to try different positions, or there's more than one of you riding, then the Zwift Ride makes a great deal of sense. It's super configurable, really easy to set up. And you can get another seat post and stick another saddle on that if the other rider in your household has a different preference. So in answer to the question, can any bike be your Zwift bike? Yeah, kind of. Hope that helps. If you've got any questions about this video or anything to say about Zwift in general, or you want to tell us about your pain cave, stick it in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this on Road.cc. Cheers for watching.